Hi. So, I wasn't expecting to make another one of these. This person genuinely gives me a lot of anxiety. When a person is willing to do things that puts other people's mental health and quite frankly safety in jeopardy, it crosses a line. Today we're going to be talking about Jen Dent. If I'm being honest, I don't even remember how I found Jen Dent or when we first interacted. I have a feeling it had to do with something related to Alicia because Alicia was strongly against me at the time. We argued, we bickered, Jen misgendered me, refused to apologize for being racist because she quote-unquote doesn't have to. She later stated it's because she had apologized before, but why be sassy about being accused of saying the literal N-word and for being homophobic? I released a new song and Jenna told me she liked it. She then went and claimed it was shit and that she shared it as a joke. From this point on, she started talking about my bad singing and kept posting my song, which is my own intellectual property. On August 10th, I sent Jen a cease and desist for intellectual property, and on August 11th, she responded with her signature. Jen likes to tell the story as if I forged her name onto a cease and desist, but what she always fails to realize is that she sent her email titled Response with an attachment. I advised a legal notary, and I advised a lawyer after the fact just to make sure. I was in the clear. On August 12th, Jen sent me a cease and desist for defamation. In this, she asked me to, and I quote, "Please find attached a request to cease and desist defamation, slander, and/or libel. Details are in the document. Sign it and send it back to me. My lawyer is involved now. Thanks." I replied by telling her to kiss my ass. She replied by telling me I had 10 days to sign it when it comes to my door. This confused me because first off, she doesn't have my home address. And second, mail? What? You have my email. You can do literally what I did. It is just as valid and just as legally binding. Jen managed to gaslight her fans and even some of the Gabby stans. I know a few people in the Gabby Hanna fandom who genuinely believed I committed forgery, which, mind you, I never wrote anything. She sent me her signature. Jen then started threatening to make videos on me and my other friends in the fandom if we didn't stop talking about her, but she never made the video. On August 18th, I had sent a DM to Jen asking her to remain civil. She agreed and started to message me more. She talked about carpool karaoke and eventually asked me if I knew what napalm was. When I said yes, she began to talk about how she has a video of Gabby being awful, calling it the video form of napalm on Gabby, from before June when Gabby left the internet for a mental health break. When I refused to say Gabby's video coming back was calculated, she began to send me a screen recording of an email conversation her and Gabby had in 2012. She told me it was the first time she and Gabby talked and used it to frame Gabby in a bad light. The problem is that in this conversation, Gabby revealed in detail a lot of tragic and traumatic things that have happened to her when Jen brought up her own trauma. After this, I blocked Jen and emailed Gabby, letting her know that Jen was spreading this information about her. After that, it was pretty calm until September when Jen started harassing my friend again. What I remember is her copying, pasting, "Go report this person," out of nowhere. No one mentioned her. No one even vague tweeted her. I remember multiple people asking if she was genuinely mentally okay, not in a joking manner at all. My friend subtweeted Jen saying Jen hated abuse survivors, and Jen subtweeted back saying I only hate one abuse survivor. My friend was in an abusive situation at the time when Jen said this, and Jen was aware of this information. Now this is where I need to come clean. November 17th, Alex James posted a video on Gabby and Jen had kept tweeting about us. After a couple of us in a group chat had seen a video on TikTok about how people were signing up their exes for Donald Trump email listings that spammed them, and immaturely we decided to do this. I realize now that this was a bad decision and this is something that I shouldn't have done. It was immature, it was selfish, it was rude, and I can take accountability for that. And we realized it was a mistake. But on November 18th, Jen noticed that my IP address was linked to one of the spam emails and posted it on Twitter, saying I was dumb and wouldn't realize that I did this. We can all agree what I did was dumb, but we can also all agree that swatting is a serious and dangerous issue in America right now. And posting my IP address like that could have gotten me injured or killed. That is not okay. On November 27th, Hello Leash made a video on the Gabby Hanna fandom about the emails and how toxic we are. A lot of it is inside jokes and gay people calling other gays slurs they're allowed to reclaim. On December 16th, I checked my emails to see Twitter had closed the case for me reporting Jen posting my IP address, so I reopened it. And on the 17th, I got an email back saying that she had been locked from her account and had to remove the tweet to continue posting. Later that day, when Jen was able to get back into her account, she went on a tirade about how she doesn't care that we had her account locked, because she had a real job and we needed to get jobs. And that we just sit online all day, that my friend's YouTube is failing, that my other friend was feeding her information, and that she was going to do something worse than post my IP if we didn't stop. To be very clear, we didn't stop. At this point, Jen was a little squeaking in our ears, the bark with no bite, the chihuahua that's fierce. On December 18th, she deleted all her tweets from 2020. Recently, she said she was going to post on TikTok and expose me for my quote-unquote fake cease and desist. And I just want to say, just because you don't agree or like someone does not mean that a notary, 2 lawyers, all of them are lying. Like, the evidence is all right here. So you can either continue to say it's fake, or you could just accept that I sent you a cease and desist. You mocked my music, and in the comments below, people were telling me to kill myself. What you did is not okay. And that doesn't mean that I'm saying what I did is okay. But what you need to realize is you are 46 years old. I'm 19. I have time to grow up. When are you going to?